I wonder what happened that it's not connecting again. Let's
So,
see.
I reckon we should all try relog, maybe.
Uh, yeah, or maybe just have you being the host again.
Yeah.
In the meantime, if anybody has any questions in the chat, please ask away. Uh, I'll be happily
Oh,
answering your
there we
questions. Oh,
go.
there we go. Never mind. Questions come later. Let's go. So, welcome everybody to Zerton versus Striker. We have Striker spawning as the Blue Babylonians, and we have Zerton as the Red Persians on Inland, one of the new maps. And Zerton already rallying one villager to the wood. I'm guessing he's gonna skip his wood storehouse and get his barracks up and running. And I think that's pretty smart because I would expect Striker to immediately go for barracks, but did he? I think he actually got hunting dogs. Yeah, this is nice. This is not something you see very often. People getting hunting dogs super fast as Babylon, because one of the advantages of having ox carts is that you get to research your first eco upgrade right away when the game starts, where other civilizations have to first build their storehouse. And yeah, the longer this goes, the better it is for Striker. But he has to be careful because Barabara, they don't do too much damage, but they also don't take too much damage from TC fire. So he probably wants to have a barracks of his own for his defensive spearmen, and he's gonna see the barracks, so he's gonna know. Mm-hmm. Nice. And Zerton comes and sees the base of Striker without any barracks. I wonder if he took the time to actually click on one of the villagers of Striker to see the extra gather rate for hunts, because normally villagers have 1.3 hunt gather rate, but when your opponent has hunting dogs, you can see it's higher than that, 1.43. And the first power bar for Zerton is already on his way, while Striker's barracks isn't even up yet, so he needs to be vigilant with a scout, and yeah, he's doing that. Very nice. He's gonna try and attack the Sparborough, I think. He's not looking. Now he is. He missed the Sparborough, so the first one is gonna make his way to the base of Striker. And let's see. Another house there. That's very good. He's trying to make this natural wall so that if the Sparborough wants to attack the wood line of Striker, it's gonna have to either go all the way around to the right or uh, go through the TC, both of which give Striker time to prepare. But that's the first spearman, so I think overall this went really good for Striker because he got his hunting dogs up. He didn't take any kind of damage from the Sparabar, really. Now he has two spearmen of his own, and he should be good on defense. And you can't really knock Babylon off their hunts too much because they just move away their ox carts and come back when you're gone. Unlike other civs that when you kill their storehouse, it's a while before they can grab some resources from the same spot again. Certain already going for a dock though. I like that. When you get the initiative and put your opponent on the defensive, you can be a bit greedy and yeah, but now that's a equal number of spore bar to spearmen, and you don't really want to take that fight. Yeah, now he's aging up. No stone though, so there's the divergence between these two players' builds. Zerton going for a dock and Striker for going for a TC. And I think that's necessarily not bad for Zerton because in this matchup, we want to make a lot of Asabaras, and Asabaras are food heavy units, so you can just rely on your fishing boats to give you the food that you need. Yeah, he's now making a. He's keeping making Sparabara though. I'm not very sure if that's good here because Sparbara died quite hard to Lancers, and they don't trade favorably against Babylonian spearmen. They just kind of break even. So you would rather avoid having too many Sparbaras against Babylon in H2 if you can help it. But let's see how it goes. Uh,
I think with the
Striker
Sparbara,
making it.
sorry man, I think with
Yeah,
the Sparbara, you've either got to
sure.
have not a lot of them, just enough to apply pressure, and then yeah, play as greedy as you can behind it, or get an
Yeah,
awful
like
lot
look
and
at
just outright
this.
rush your opponent. They're a bit like getting the weaker
Yeah.
spearmen in a
Yeah,
sense.
very nice micro by Striker too. Just pulling away the weakened villagers and going around. Oh, he did lose one though, and the other Sparbar are making a lot of disruption in the wood line of Striker. But I think overall he's gonna be okay-ish if he doesn't lose too many villagers. He is losing now though. That one villager to the left. Yikes! But on the other hand, Zerton is also losing a lot of Spar Bar here. I mean, each Spar Bar is effectively 50 seconds of villager work time. So, does Striker get this one? I think he will. Oh, headshot. Damn. That's a painful death if I've ever seen one. But the second building for Striker is stable, as I would expect for some Lancers. And Zerton's already taken the second pawn, so he's essentially having a three TCs for the time being to the one of Striker because the TC of Striker on the vine is actually up. So it's like two TCs to three now. Zerton making double fishing boats. Lots of food income. Look at his food bank already at 400, but he has no gold actually. Zero gold. He is starting to gather them now though. But an archery range as a follow up. That's interesting. I suppose when he saw that many spearmen for striker, kind of do need bowman. Oh, that fishing boat. He does not need to die, but he does. Rip. And striker knows that Zerton has a dock now, and I mean he can just repair this for now, but he needs to eventually start defending it with some military units. Striker does know about both of the docks of Zerton now, though, so he's completely aware. And is that a TC? Yeah, it is. So Zerton going full greed here. Two TCs, two docks, and yeah, I'm not sure what Striker is doing with those spearmen here. Yeah, just get out.
The
Can't
A10.
really heal too much. A10 is also, yeah. A10 is such a good tech. Like all of the chip damage that all of those barbaros took, it's just gonna be gone in a few minutes.
Oh, exactly.
There's a second TC.
You can play some crazy
Yep.
stuff with the A10,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
even
Pretty
aggressive.
good. Yeah. I used to play some 2v2s with a friend like in 2004, 13, 14, where we would play Sparbara and Spearman with Egypt and Persia, and then he would make towers and I would make eight tents in the middle of the map and we would just creep our way forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty annoying. Yeah, but now Striker is distracting Zerton and he's sending basically most of his army chasing these for spearmen while those lancers try to come in, but Zerton's defense is just too tight around here. Really nowhere for the lancers to attack, but this sneaky dock. I think Zerton doesn't see it actually, but he does make a galley, so
Oh, I think once you surrender, you can't
you
actually see.
resigned. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 you did resign. That's fine. But that galley is gonna deny. Yeah, I think Striker is not going to make anything from that dock. He is going H3 though. I wonder if he's going to go for mounted archers or what.
It's not a bad idea going for the dock if you're going to force out an age behind it. Like, I mean, if you force out a couple of ships out of your opponent, take an age and
Yep.
take a lot of infantry or cavalry or just land units in general.
Yeah, I mean he just spent 200 wood for the dock, and Zerton already made two galleys. galleys are like 225 resources each, if I remember right. Yep,
Yeah,
225. So
and the
he's
population.
yeah, 3 pop too. Correct. Zerton just taking all the pawns though. His fish eco is gonna be booming really hard, and I wonder if he got the fishing tech, because in the map like inland where fish is scarce and you don't have too many, yeah, it's that conservation stat is incredibly useful.
Yeah,
Like,
any of the
glad to
early
see
fishing
him.
techs are good, but the ones with
Hmm.
conservation are really, really good.
Yeah, they are. Babylon also has the resourcefulness tech in their ziggurat, which is also really good. But all those lancers, they're dead meat. Yep, all of them are dead. Oh boy, deleted. Are they? I mean, they're just as good as dead, I guess.
I suppose if he gets the
So low
healing tech,
HP. He does not have pharmacology, but he can probably make one priest. I mean, it's not bad. Priests heal at 40 health per second, so they can just heal back up. But Striker's base is worrying me a bit. Does he have a third TC? What is that on the right? Oh yeah, okay, he does have a third TC. So he's going full greed here, and he needs to be careful with the army of Zerton uh, closing in on his base. He does not have too many units. He did get Lancer champion, so that's gonna be good against pretty much everything in Zerton's army, except maybe the Asabara. I mean, it's decent, but not too good. But it's just a numbers game here. Look at the size of the army. Zerton's 50 pop ahead almost.
yeah, they got even
And
worker counts, but Zerton's army is just so much bigger.
oh, those villagers, they came to the wrong neighborhood. And Zerton's just jamming in his army in Striker's base. I mean, I'm not sure if he can break him here, but it's gonna be hard for a Striker to defend. He just needs to queue up some villagers, though. Yeah, he does. Okay. Um, just pulling behind his TC, but Zerton's just pushing in. He is fighting under two H3 TCs though, so eventually he's gonna be forced to run away. Yeah, as you can see, just too many sources of pierce damage here. Once those Asabaras fall, the bowmen are gonna be quick work for the TCs. But just look at the production for Zerton. He has so many stables just non-stop popping out Asabara, which I think are the best unit Persia has against Babylon in all stages at a matchup. Because Babylon really only has a spearman who can like fully counter the Asabara without taking either bonus damage from it or the Asabara having armor against their damage. And yeah, Striker's Q is empty because he has so little gold. It's not looking very good for him right now. He's starved of gold. He has 60 population behind Zerton right now.
He's falling behind on worker count too. He's about 10 population on that behind now.
Yeah, yikes. That includes Oxcart, so even more actually. But
And all the docks, all the fishing ships are 2 for 1.
yeah, true. And yeah, I think he wasted too many units when he was aging up to H3. He sent a bunch of spearmen, then lost them, sent a bunch of lancers to the left, lost them, sent a bunch of lancers to the dock, lost them too. So when you're doing a fast age up, you really don't want to be throwing away your units too much. You want to be conservative with your army, and it's just snowballing out of control. I mean, he does have those gardens giving him some food, but his other TC is also under pressure. He's probably gonna hold this here, but I think he's just too far behind in worker count right now. Yeah,
Yeah, he's about 30 behind really. So I think that's just about
yeah,
critical damage.
it is. And this level of gameplay, it's very, very difficult to come back from a deficit like this. But I mean, It's always possible. You can never count anybody out of a game fully until they're like really, really dead. He does still have some mobile army, and he can make villagers still thanks to the gardens. But we'll see. Zerton's having an armory, just having vision everywhere. Just look at the mini map. Just compare how much red there is on the map as opposed to the blue parts. Zerton just has all the map.
He's just throwing up even more watch posts, and they're much closer to Striker's base. Striker's really only got
Mm-hmm.
information here and here. Zerton knows exactly what's going on, pretty much both sides of the
Yeah,
map, because of this small choke and because of all this. He's got a scout, he's got the
yeah.
watch
That
posts.
that group of mounted units on the left is going to do some serious damage, and I don't think. I think that one part of Zerton's army is bigger than the entire military force of Striker, and he does see it now, and he's straight for the goal. But nice reaction time, pulls away the villagers, and now he's fighting. And he's using chariot archers instead of mounted archers, and that's quite interesting. I think he's actually using a mixture of the three: lancers, mounted archers, and chariot archers. That's pretty nice because chariot archers do have a lot more range. So, like when you're fighting with your army, more units can effectively battle from the same distance. But Zerdan's just always keeping an eye on the gold sources of Striker. He's really good at this. I've noticed over the years that one of the things that Zerdan is really good at is putting pressure on your your gold mines. Like once he takes the map, it's really hard to get gold because he's always gonna check your gold mines, maybe even build some forts next to it just to deny you from gathering gold. And basically, at this point, he's established for himself a really nice economy. And Striker's gonna work really, really hard to get back into this game.
Yeah, he's still down by about 70. Oh, sorry, 20 villagers. And he's been missing
Yes.
a lot in production, I've noticed, just because Zerton's putting him under so much pressure with the fact that he can raid both sides of the map so easily.
Yeah. He does have the food needed for more villagers, though. Striker, I mean, so he should probably just make a few more. And Zerton's going for H4. That's gonna be pretty good for him to get the final stable tech, get Mario Archer champion, so they can just tear down those lancers immediately. And yeah, look at this. Zerdan's army is just bigger than Strikers on both sides, and these Asabar are just tearing through this army of Strikers. And when the unit size, I mean the army size is so that Asabaras can just engage mounted archers head on. It's no longer too much of a favorable trait for you to just use mounted archers to counter Asabara. And there it is. GG. Nicely done by Zerton, just being relentless with his pressure all game. I think this is the correct way to play Persia against Babylon. You never really want to give them any moment to rest because as good as Persia is at booming with paid labor and things like that, uh, you cannot outpace Babylonians in terms of economy boom. But yeah, nice game. I think Striker's plan was pretty good, except for the part where he just threw away too many units for the strat he was going for. Like, if you want to stay H2 and be aggressive, sure, you can throw away units, but not when you're going for fast H3.
Zerton was even warming up by the end of
Mm-hmm.
that game. He was in such a really nice position
Yep.
going into that.
So the next map has been chosen, and it is equal footing. I believe Zerton needs to change his civilization, while Striker can stay Babylon, yes?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I'll just have a look. Yeah, the winner. That's the change. Oh, North.
Yep, it's gonna be Celts versus Norse on equal footing.
Oh,
Pretty
this is
good.
gonna be really nice. Be so aggressive.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's the battle of the aggressors in this matchup. Although I think if Norse plays it correctly, they can be the aggressor in the matchup for most of the game. If the Celt, for example, tries to go fast H3 for bowman, you can just take the map. One thing, by the way, I was reading the chat, and apparently that chat hider thing for the screen, the screen blocker for the chat, it's only supposed to be there for the first 2 minutes. So once we get started, if you could remove that, it would be better for players. You could just close the chat with that arrow key and just
Oh, okay.
hide the chat hider. Yep, it just probably takes too much of the screen. Yeah, Wout knows better. He's a more informed streamer than I. I just make the graphic assets. I don't stream, like actually stream.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and also hello everybody in the chat. I see Pharaohs. I see Borg with the AM. AM. Is that like the Portuguese version of capasa or something like that? AM. I see RJ. RJ, are you Ruslan Kefir? Something like that? I remember you, but I'm not too sure. And I see Madlib and Wout. Hello everybody.
Those equal was map 2. Yep.
Yep, correct. Please work. If it doesn't work, we need to switch hosts again. I think it's Striker really, but
We'll just
let's
keep
see.
swapping between me and Striker until we get it to go. Because I mean, it's worked
Yeah,
for
right.
each of us, so
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you're stuck in the loading screen while the chat is going on. That's
the
some
worst feeling.
anxiety-inducing moment. It's just like you're frantically trying to communicate with the others in the chat, but you can't.
But sometimes,
Uh,
like if it's random players, they just get angry or confused because they're just like, what's actually going on? We're just sitting here, and
yeah, why are you
sometimes
not doing anything?
sometimes it can be as much as like 30 seconds or so before anything happens.
Yeah, just make him host, I guess. Ooh, flying pancake here too. It's a system glitch from the web development team on the official Discord. There we go. Nice. Okay.
How do I get rid of that thing? I suppose I should have sorted out a bind for it. Alright, we're in game. I'll
Yeah,
worry about it later.
you can just remove it from ops, like to hide it, and you can also hide the in-game chat with that
Yeah, just use the
small.
arrow.
Yep. So we have striker spawning as the blue Celts in the bottom. We got, or did I say it incorrectly? The quality of the screen share is a bit too bad for me right now because of the bitrate, the adaptive quality. Who is blue? Striker, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
striker.
we got striker as the blue Celts in the bottom side of equal footing, and we have Zerton as the red Norse on the top side, and this is the Persian Valley terrain set again. Makes me happy to see it, and both of the players are going for super fast barracks, as is expected from the matchup.
Man, I love that tile set.
Strikers, yep, it's pretty good, yeah.
If you do say so yourself, it's pretty sick.
Yeah. Let's just forget for a moment who made it. I think it just looks good.
It does though. It looks really really nice. So
Yeah.
so much
I
more
also
handcrafted
got
it looks.
finished with a new terrain set today, actually, for the winter event. It's the Tundra terrain set. I'm quite excited to see you guys' opinion on it once I reveal it soon. But here's the first spearman for striker. Is the barracks up for Zerton just yet? I don't think it is. It should be up anytime. Yeah, it is using the uh, melee scout to help make it faster. And here's the spearman for both of the players. And Striker is still being aggressive with his wood gathering, still not making a wood storehouse, but he is making a bunch of spearmen at home. He probably wants to wait a bit and just send them all at the same time. Zerton does come here and see it, so he should be prepared. But one thing that's like extremely advantageous for Celts is that you can just make as many spears as you want. You're gonna need them eventually against other civs, but other civs do not they don't really want to make too many spearmen because Celts do not have any kind of cavalry in H2. So if you can help it, you want to make as few spearmen as possible in H1 against Celts.
That's
That being said, though, Norse spearmen are pretty tanky, so having a bunch of them isn't so bad. But
that's it.
yeah,
That's it. You really want only just
okay,
enough to defend. Because
yeah,
if you get more on the
exactly.
other civs, like you said, it's not really worth it. Whereas on the Celts, the spearmen
Yeah,
you
why not?
effectively you
Yeah,
use them as your harassing unit because once you get your bard hall, your infantry are faster than any other civs. So
they already are. They already are faster. They get
oh,
even faster with Bardhall.
I
Yeah,
think
they are 7 speed.
some civs have 7 speed counter
No, no,
infantry.
no, no, no. It's only. Oh, counter infantry. Yeah, sure. Long swordsmen,
Yeah. Oh,
hypaspists, and
in H1
axemen
it
are
like
7 speed.
yeah, in longsword
In
in
H1,
sorry yeah,
everybody is age 6 speed except the
except
spearmen. But
yeah.
yeah,
But then in
correct.
H2, even still, you can even use spearmen then just as like cheap throwaway harass and just snipe workers with them.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not just the speed; it's also the damage type. Like spearmen counter cavalry, and Celts don't have any cavalry, so you know all of those spearmen of Zerton are just gonna be tanking. There's no really a cav unit to the Celts in H2 for them to target. Yep, Tundra. Yeah, it's pretty good. I took me like I don't know 10 hours, 8 hours, 12 to just optimize it and get it into the game. But it's ready now. It's actually got done like 1 hour and a half ago actually, and I sent it to Recon, so maybe he can make a pretty map for it. And here's the second TC for Striker. It's in a defensive spot, so I wonder if he is planning on going for a fast H3 with some bowmen because otherwise, I think in H2 um, if you stay in H2
Oh,
and
that's a
oh
nice
look at this, this is
catch.
gonna be huge.
Yeah.
Oh damn, this is a huge dent in Zerton's game plan. Does he have enough stone to rebuild?
Oh, he's
I
still another 5 short.
ouch. Yeah, yeah,
That's really gonna slow him down.
that's really good for striker. Yeah, that's incredible for him. His TC is almost up, and Zerton's even not even started yet. That's really good. He is losing a couple spearmen though, but I think it's more than worth it in the end for him. And by the way, I want to mention that these vanity gears on the units of these guys is hilarious. Like Zern has nothing on his spearman, but he has like legendary or what is that? That's a summer vanity set. That's pretty funny. Yeah, look at that. Nice. Zerton being hipster because his units are even more naked than default Norse units because they're pro civ and they have like some set of rare and uncommon gear equipped when you start them, but he took even those off. So okay, but I was gonna say that uh Zerton's TC is also in a defensive spot, so both of these players are not really being too aggressive, and I think Striker could have gotten away with being a bit more aggressive here, but yeah, let's see. He is making some long swordsmen, but he has stopped military production. I wonder if he's just saving up for a fast A3. Can you look at his base? I wonder how his infrastructure is set up. Yet just two barracks. Yeah, okay. Making a lot of houses. That's definitely for H3. He just needs six. In PvE, you need 8 houses for H3, but in PvP, you need only six, if I remember right. Yeah, there's the H3 for Striker. So now he's just gonna keep a couple villagers on food, transfer a lot of them on. He's gonna be having a lot of villagers on wood for archery ranges and then for bowmen. One thing to note though is that he definitely needs to have some druids because one of the main strengths of the Celt ranged wall is the sustain. Oh, and look at this. That pincer move by Zerden trying to catch these infantry, but yeah, look at this. Even three groups. Striker's not paying attention to his units and he's just bleeding out. See that this is the same mistake as last game where he went for a fast age and he did not remain conservative with his units. He's just throwing them away. This is like the same pattern all over again. But on the other hand, Zerden is also going for H3, and I do not see anything but barracks in his base. What is that building being built? Is that
Range.
an archer range?
And
Okay,
another one coming down.
so so I think he's going for Harjar and Bowman, and that's pretty tough for Celts to deal with in the third age. Wout's asking in the chat, did you hide the chat hider in ops? No. The like the source on the stream. I'm not tuned into the stream. Let me tune in again.
Ah, done.
Uh,
Sorry, I
okay,
forgot
thank
about
you. Yeah, let me see the chat. I just realized
it.
what said for Celts and PvP, right? Yeah. The North style winter doesn't spawn in PvP. Yeah, because of the huge trees. The trees are not optimized for actual gameplay. So Tundra, no, Tundra is actually completely new, and I'll just send you a screenshot later on Discord, Spaniard. It's all new. It's never before seen. Like I said, I spent a lot of time making the terrain set actually with all new trees again, new ground texture, new water, new cliffs. But anyway, let's get back into the game. Yeah, you can see throwing axeman champion for Zerton being researched, Harjar's on the way, striker making longswordsman and bowman. Does he have a sacred grove? I don't think he does.
No, you did.
Oh,
each
he
time.
does.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. It's critical, especially when you have this sort of ranged ball skirmishes like between both of the armies. Having sustain on your side is incredibly important, especially with the damage boost that the augurs give to the army of the Celts. But let's see, does Striker have Longswordsman Champion? He needs it because look at Longswordsman Champion in the barracks. Just hover over it so the viewers can see 25% infantry armor, 25% pierce armor. Now look at Zerton's army. What does it have? Only those two damage types, infantry and pierce. So that upgrade is one of the best upgrades Norse, Celts have against Norse. And I think it's very important for Striker to get that upgrade before he moves out and fights. But
Well, this is quite greedy,
there
quite
it is, a
risky.
30C. It's fine. I think it's fine. What Striker needs is more gold. He needs to cancel a couple of those druids and make some units and maybe get armory because Zerton's having armory upgrades on the way. First one is already halfway done. Pierce damage first, then Pierce armor. Excellent choices there. Maybe I would have prioritized the Pierce armor first, but maybe not actually. Looking at Striker's army, the longswordsman count is actually still bigger than the bowman count. 23 to the I think that's like 15 bowmen for Striker, and Zerton sending a small raiding group. They just went by the army. One is going to the right, one is going to the left, and I think the left one is actually gonna find out those villagers hunting the boar. And Striker needs to be vigilant. He needs to pay attention. Striker, where are you looking? Yikes! Those are two of them are gone. Okay, but he is pushing at Zerton's base right now. And I'm not sure if he can actually break this position right now. His ranged ball is too small for sorry, what was I saying? I just looked at the chat and I got distracted. Um yeah, Striker went back, but Zerton's just keeping pressure here. And if you can see, like Zerton's army is back in his base, but he is sending just a small group of harassment units everywhere, and Striker is chasing them with his entire army. And an important factor here is that he's bringing bowmen and druids with his defensive force, and that's slowing him down to 6 speed. So he cannot actually chase and kill these units. Well, now he can. He can delete them now, but yeah, now there are Wold Raiders on the field for Striker, and they're pretty good. If they can avoid the Harjars, they should be fine. But both players are even on military count. Striker's slightly behind in armory techs, but that's not too bad. Can you check the villager counts, please?
82 the striker
82 for
and
Striker.
yeah,
Okay, so
79.
pretty
So
even game, yeah. But I think Striker could be slightly more aggressive than he is now. He is sending some boats now, so that's nice. And oh, Minimolt in the chat. What's up, dude? It's been a while. Glad to see you here. And yeah, now Striker's trying to break in, but the Sim City by Zerton is too good for defense, but he should not be pushing out like this. Yeah, now Zerd's not in a good spot. The bowmen of Striker are just too many. As I say that though, a bunch more Harjars come in, and the front line for Striker is all but gone, and now the bowmen are attacking. Yikes. Now the bowmen of Zerton are attacking the bowmen of Striker, while the Celt bowmen are just attacking infantry. and that armor is just too good. But now he is kiting, and I'm not sure if it's too smart for Zerton to give chase here,
He can get walled
running
in
under a
here.
fort. Yeah, he is. I mean, this is a an odd spot to say the least. But here comes some horsemen, and that's pretty good for the horsemen. Harjars don't really have too much damage, so if those horsemen can just tank for the bowmen in front, in the back, I mean, it's gonna be good. But Zerton once again pressuring the gold mine of Striker. Although those wolves are all idle on the map, doing some damage, preventing those villagers from moving out.
He
But
wanted to get a berries then and got denied.
yeah, I wonder if it's wise for Striker to sprinkle in some slingers here because he's not gonna win the Bowman war anymore unless he does something like yeah, that's something. Send those Woad Raiders to the Bowman Ball, target the fort onto the Bowman Ball, use all that splash damage. Yeah, those Bowmen are not in a good spot. One thing that I want to mention though is that I think Striker does have a market line set up already. I saw some caravans, so
Oh,
I
yep, yep.
believe. Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah. So
does.
that's pretty good for him.
But he's going to have to defend
And
it.
yeah, he I think he's gonna be all right. Although Zerden, I predict, is going to make some farbuters out of his. Yeah, there it is. The farbuters being built from the fortress. So both of these civilizations have access to their rams, and I mean in their fortress. So when you have a fortress up, you basically have a proxy siege workshop there too. But Striker loses his fortress. He is fine on population count still keeping even with Zerton, and he does have a market line set up, so his gold income is good. I don't believe Zerton has a market line set up just yet, since he tried to send a bunch of villagers to the left, and then those wood raiders denied him.
I think they
Yeah,
got
as you can
denied
see,
trying to
that
put up the
unfinished
storehouse.
storehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, eventually he would have wanted to build a
Yeah.
market on the left side, I think.
That's probably the
But
natural
let's
spot.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did send like, I don't know, 15, 10, 12 villagers there
Oh, it was all.
before they got denied by the votes. But Strikers, I think is okay right now. He's walled off all the left spot. I think he can even get the next set of the wall upgrades for his walls. PvP now has an extra tier of upgrades for walls for Celts, and it's not as good as others says, but it's still better than having no upgrades. And now Zerd is trying to push in, but one thing that I want to mention is that he has no counter to these horsemen, so he needs to be careful with how he engages this. Yeah,
Oh,
that first volley of the bowman, and now the flank with the boat raiders, although they're meeting the Harjars, and he's still trying to circle around the boats,
you get some on the
attack the
farms.
bowman. Yeah, I think this is going quite fine with for Striker, I think, because those bowmen are really tanky in the front. And Zerton really does not have too many counters to them in his army right now.
He's gonna just cover just the archers now, so it's getting a bit scary.
Yeah. Also, something that's important that I forgot to mention, pointed out by Wout in the chat, is that Norse bowman's health is quite high compared to the other civilizations bowman, 140. And now he's just trying to fight these archers head on. I think he just has more production. And
But I think he realizes that the Fabiotas are. He sees just in time, but
what? Yeah, oh damn, yeah. Even I missed that. Those farms are just destroying his TC. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good for Zerton. And now he's moving back. Now he's mixing in some dogs. That's excellent because those dogs are gonna be annoying those horsemen so much with their snare, with their uh, bonus against Cav. And I don't know why Striker is moving out here it's obvious that he's not going to win this. And yeah, the TC goes down once again. Those farbs are just
Oh, the dogs.
ramming in.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah,
Cost
that's.
cost no
I think
population.
that makes you happy, huh? Makes you
Yeah.
happy seeing
Oh
all the
man.
dog harass. Yeah,
It's so good though.
Ardeshir, biggest dog fan, AU,
That's it.
and yep. So those farbs are, yeah. I think he just used F2 on those farbs, and they're dead. But now he's making that fortress, and that fortress is going to completely deny the caravans for Striker.
He's even getting dog training
And
so he can push out all 24. Make use of
yeah,
the zero
yeah.
population, cheapest unit in the
Mm-hmm.
game, 9
Right.
speed, age 2, easier to tech
45
to than
snare.
cavalry, 45 snare.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, Zerton's game plan in both of these games was pretty well executed, and I think he just knew what he wanted to do in each matchup and just went with it. And once again, you can see how good he is with just holding the gold mines of the map. And there's the GG by Striker. Well played, nicely done. Zerton takes the series 2-0. Congratulations.
Why do numbers randomly flip in OBS?
Sorry, what?
Numbers just randomly flip when you update them in OBS. I've never understood why.
Oh, I've never had that problem. I'm not sure. I don't know. Uh, so do we have another series planned for this cast or for this stream, or is this the only one?
I think this is the only one,
Uh-huh.
but it was good
Well,
fun.
let's go through some stats in this
That's
game.
it. All right.
Can you check the yeah, check the resources gathered and text I would like to see the most. That's the other tab. The one with the chest. No, no, no.
Oh yeah, this one.
Fourth tab. Yep. So you can see that Zerton had 12 more techs. I was keeping an eye on his armory, and he was just non-stop getting armory upgrades. And yeah, nicely done by him. He just went on the offensive on both games, took away map control, denied gold, and just snowballed out of control over time.
Yeah, in terms of resources, he beat Striker on everyone but Stone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He did make a lot of the offensive forts. Zerton. Can you check the chat, by the way? Maybe enable the chat hider, then open the in-game chat, because we didn't really see what they said. Oh, okay.
Hard Drives and Bowman, pretty good. Invented by me.
Yeah.
Abused by me.
All right. If anybody has any questions in the chat, please feel free to ask, and I'll happily answer them before we end the stream. Or if anybody wants to play on the stream and get their game cast, that would be good too. And I would like to remind you that tomorrow is the final day uh, for the tournament. All the